Welcome, everybody, to another deep dive. Today, we're going to be diving into the world of preserved flowers. Specifically, we're looking at the top brands blossoming in China.
Wow, that's a really interesting topic.
Yeah, and our guide for this journey is an article from Sweetie Gifts. They've got over 16 years of experience in the industry. The article is called Top 10 Preserved Flower Brands in China, where innovation meets timeless beauty. Sounds
Yeah,
promising, right?
it does. And it hints at something I find really fascinating about this industry. It's not just about pretty flowers,
Yeah.
It's a real blend of art, technology, and even sustainability.
Right. It's a whole ecosystem
Yeah.
and a big business, too.
Oh, absolutely. China's become a global force in flower production, and preserved flowers are right there in the mix.
Okay, so let's jump right in. The article kicks off with Purella, a brand under Sweetie Gifts.
Right.
What catches your eye about them?
Well, the first thing is their focus on premium quality. They use A-grade flowers and really emphasize innovative design, but what I find particularly interesting is their commitment to eco-friendly packaging.
Oh, that's a good point. Why is that so important, do you think?
Well, consumers are becoming much more aware of sustainability these days, especially younger generations. They really care about a company's environmental impact.
So it's not just a trend for Purella. It's a smart business move.
Exactly. And it seems to be paying off. They're supplying businesses in over 50 countries, including the US and Europe, where, eco-consciousness is a big deal.
And the article mentions they offer ODM and OEM services. I think some listeners might not be familiar with those terms. Could you break it down for us?
Sure. OBM stands for Original Design Manufacturing, and OEM is Original Equipment Manufacturing. Basically, it means Para-LA can design and manufacture products specifically for another company, so that company can put their own brand on it.
So it's all about customization.
Yeah, it's a big advantage for businesses wanting that unique branding. And with Para-LA's reach and quality, it makes them a pretty attractive partner.
Now let's talk about a different vibe. Rosy only. They're all about romance and luxury, right?
You got it. Preserved roses, elegant packaging. It's like they're selling an experience.
It's statement.
Exactly. They're targeting a very specific market. Those looking for that high-end romantic gift. Anniversaries, Valentine's Day, that sort of thing.
So Purella might be the practical, eco-conscious option. Rosen Only is about going all out.
Makes sense?
And then we have Beast, appealing to a younger, trendier crowd.
Oh, yeah. Beast is all about that artistic approach. They mix preserved flowers with lifestyle stuff like candles and vases, and their aesthetic is very modern, very trendy.
It's like they're building a lifestyle brand around the flowers.
Right. It's not just the product, it's the feeling, the whole vibe.
Okay, next up, Rosamore. They've mastered preserving those stunning Ecuadorian roses known for their beauty and fragrance.
And that's the key, isn't it? They found a way to keep that natural beauty and fragrance intact. That's what makes them stand out, especially for high-end gifts.
So both Rosen Only and Rosamore are in that luxury market, but with different focuses.
Yeah. Rose Only is about the grand gesture, the romance. Roseomer is about the exquisite beauty of a specific type of rose. More, I don't know, refined, maybe.
Interesting. Now, let's jump to a brand with some serious history. Daddy Nongyuan. They've been around since 1960.
That's incredible. They're like the veterans of this industry. Their experience and trustworthiness are a major selling point, especially for bulk orders.
Businesses looking for reliability, they know they can trust Daddy Nongyuan.
Absolutely. That track record speaks for itself.
Okay, now for something completely different, Amorosa. They seem to be all about going big.
You could say that. Amorosa, they specialize in these luxury preserved roses, but also these massive floral displays. Think weddings, upscale hotels, events, those statement pieces that just wow you.
It's about creating an experience, a visual impact.
Yeah, exactly. They're less about individual flowers and more about the overall design.
It's interesting how each brand is finding its niche within the market. Now, what about Wong? What makes them stand out?
Huali Wang, they've really embraced technology. They've got this user-friendly online platform that makes ordering so easy for businesses, especially for those bulk orders.
So they're all about efficiency and convenience.
Exactly. They know businesses are busy. They need things to be straightforward.
Makes sense.
Uh,
And then we have Joyflower, the personalization experts.
yes. Joyflower, they specialize in custom design, preserved flower gifts. Every creation is unique, tailored to the person and the occasion.
It's all about making it special, creating something that feels truly thoughtful.
It's that personal touch that people are looking for.
Absolutely. And now for a brand that's really tapping into a growing consumer concern, Ming EO.
Meng Zikao, they're all about sustainability, eco-friendly practices throughout their whole process from start to finish.
So they're taking it a step further than just eco-friendly packaging.
Yeah, it's a core part of their brand identity. And it's attracting those consumers who are looking to make more ethical choices,
It's about aligning your values with the brands you support.
for sure. And finally, we have Huahou, blending tradition with technology.
They're using advanced technology to make their preserved flowers even more vibrant and long-lasting.
It's a great example of how this industry is always innovating, always pushing the boundaries.
It's amazing to see the variety and the ingenuity within this market. Each brand has its own story, its own style, its own target audience, but they're all united by this desire to, preserve beauty and innovate.
And that's what makes it so exciting. It's constantly evolving, always finding new ways to capture the magic of flowers.
It's incredible to see how these brands are shaping the future of preserved flowers, both in China and globally. Now, before we jump into the trends driving this growth, let's take a moment to appreciate these remarkable brands and what they're doing.
Yeah. It really is amazing how something as seemingly simple as a flower can be a canvas for such creativity and innovation.
And as we continue our deep dive, I'm eager to explore what this all means for the industry and, of course, for our listeners.
Me too. It's going to be fascinating. So we've seen all these amazing brands, each with their own unique approach to preserve flowers. But now, let's zoom out a bit. What's fueling this whole industry? Why are preserved flowers so popular right now?
Yeah, that's the big question, right? Are people just over fresh flowers?
Well, I don't think it's that simple. Fresh flowers will always have their place. That natural beauty, the fragrance, you can't really replace that.
True. But preserved flowers offer some pretty appealing advantages.
Exactly. And I think that's what's driving their popularity.
Okay, so what are some of those advantages that are, drawing people in?
One of the biggest ones is longevity. Preserved flowers can last for a year, sometimes even longer. Think about that compared to fresh flowers, which wilt so quickly.
It's a huge difference, and I imagine that makes them much more cost-effective.
Absolutely, especially for businesses, event planners,
Mm,
anyone who uses a lot of flowers. You save a ton of money not having to constantly replace arrangements.
makes sense. Plus, not everyone has a green thumb. I know I struggle to keep even the easiest plants alive.
Right, and that's another big advantage. Convenience. Preserved flowers, they're super low maintenance, no watering, no special care needed.
Perfect for our busy, modern lives, right?
Exactly, it's like having the beauty of flowers without the hassle.
Best of both worlds.
And don't forget about the design possibilities. With preserved flowers, you can do so much more creatively. You can dye them different colors, shape them, incorporate them into all sorts of products.
We saw with Beast and Joy Flower. They're really pushing those boundaries.
And that's exciting. It opens up a whole new world of floral design.
Speaking of which, the article talks about the symbolism and emotional value of preserved flowers. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, especially with roses, there's a strong association with lasting love, enduring beauty. They kind of capture a feeling, a memory.
It's like giving a gift that freezes a moment in time.
Yeah, I think that's a great way to put it. And for businesses, that symbolism can be really powerful. They can tap into those emotions, create deeper connections with their customers.
So it's not just about aesthetics, there's a whole emotional layer there.
Absolutely. But of course, with any growing industry, we need to talk about the ethical and environmental side of things.
Yeah, we've touched on sustainability. But are there other concerns we should consider?
Well, while there are brands like Ming EO that are very committed to eco-friendly practices, the preservation process itself can involve chemicals, energy use. It's not always as green as it might seem.
So it's important to look beyond the marketing claims. Do your research.
Exactly. Transparency is key. And as consumers become more aware, they're holding brands accountable for their practices.
Okay, now let's shift gears and talk about the business side of things. What's the economic impact of this growing market?
Well, globally, the preserved flower market is worth billions, and it's projected to keep growing. There are a few reasons for this. Rising disposable incomes, for one. People have more money to spend on things like unique gifts.
Right. And there's this growing demand for personalized experiences, too.
Exactly. And preserved flowers fit perfectly with that trend. Plus, they're becoming increasingly popular for weddings and events.
So it's a combination of factors all coming together to create this, perfect storm for growth.
And with China being such a major player in this market, it's really interesting to see how these brands are influencing global trends.
So with all this growth and innovation, where do you see things heading? Will preserved flowers eventually replace fresh flowers altogether?
That's a tough one. I don't think it'll be a complete takeover. Fresh flowers have their own special appeal. I think it's more likely that both will coexist, each catering to different needs and preferences.
So more of a harmony than a competition.
I think so. And it'll be exciting to see what new innovations emerge. I mean, as technology advances, who knows what's possible? Maybe digitally printed flowers or even bioengineered ones.
That sounds straight out of a sci-fi movie.
I know, right? The future of preserved flowers is definitely bright.
Well, this has been a fascinating deep dive. For our listeners, I hope it's given you a new perspective on the world of preserved flowers. It's more than just pretty arrangements. It's a whole industry with its own trends, challenges, and innovations.
And there's a lot to think about, too. The symbolism, the ethical considerations.
Yeah.
It's a really layered topic.
For sure. So whether you're a consumer or a business owner, I think the key takeaway is stay curious. Keep exploring this market. Find what resonates with you.
Exactly. And don't be afraid to ask questions. The more you learn, the more you can appreciate the artistry and innovation that goes into preserving beauty.
Well, we've really gone deep into this world of preserved flowers, from those innovative brands in China to the bigger trends shaping the whole industry.
It's amazing how much there is to discover, isn't it?
It really is. So much more than just, pretty decorations.
Yeah, there's art, technology, sustainability, even a bit of philosophy in there with all the symbolism and stuff.
As we wrap things up here, what would you say is the most important takeaway for our listeners?
That's a good question. I think it's that the preserved flower market is alive and kicking. It's constantly changing, always coming up with new ideas.
It's not a static thing.
Right. And there's something there for everyone, whether you're drawn to the eco-friendly aspect, the unique beauty, or the lasting symbolism.
It's a reminder that even something as simple as a flower can be a source of so much creativity and meaning.
Absolutely. And those Chinese brands we talked about, they're really leading the way. They're not afraid to push boundaries and challenge conventions.
They're showing the world what's possible.
Yeah.
So as we say goodbye for now, I encourage everyone listening to keep exploring this world of preserved flowers.
Yeah. Whether you're a consumer or a business owner, there's always something new to learn, something new to discover.
Stay curious, ask questions, and, find what speaks to you.
Exactly. This industry is full of surprises. Who knows what amazing creations we'll see in the future?
That's the exciting part. Well, on that note, thanks for joining us for this deep dive. It's been a real pleasure exploring this blossoming world with you.
I've enjoyed it too. And remember, the beauty of a flower, preserved or fresh, is something to be cherished.
Beautifully said. And until next time, keep seeking out those moments of beauty and wonder in your everyday lives.